Let's do this thing. Let's move.
JoBodie.
I'm Gerald Ford, and you're not.
Love Jesus Christ.
I love whales.
I like skinny, scrawny guys.
Waking up every day and still being fucking ugly.
I'm not a child, Heidi. I'm a grown man.
But the key is to make it. The key is never give up. The key is not to drive your jet ski in the dark.
You don't need nobody.
What's
up, bro?
A couple courtesy vape hits.
A
As
little,
we're getting into it, bro.
little vape hit.
We'll leave them in.
We'll leave the vape hits in.
Everybody wants to see them vape hits.
Have you ever heard of Ripple?
No, what is that?
Dude, it's like fake vaping.
Is that like the essential oil stuff that you had?
No. It's like a real vape. Like the essential oil, that's an essential oil inhaler.
Yeah.
And
that's like a one hitter for happiness.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like
it does look like a one hitter. It just has a
does.
piece of cotton in it, and you just like drop some essential oils, and then you just hit it. I don't
dump
know.
them in your eyes.
Yeah. it burned my chest. I did it.
That fucking story makes me laugh so hard.
I did
time I
like,
think about it.
Dude, I did like I put like peppermint oil on my little piece of cotton in my inhaler, and that shit made like my chest burn for
That'll grab you by the boo boo
for 2 days, bro. I just had peppermint oil in my lungs for over 2 days.
I can see you like starting to make concoctions with it.
Oh yeah,
like you start to mix 5-6 different types of essential
oh
oils
dude,
together.
I'm all about it.
Just so you can like get a new experience in your lungs. It's like patchouli and like rose oil.
Oh my gosh!
Like you get the most. Isn't that the most expensive one? Rose oil.
I think rose oil.
Isn't it like 10 grand for like a
what
8-ounce bottle or something? Like for a big bottle of essential, like grade A essential oil.
I don't know
Not
what
like
the grades
Walmart.
are. I got the grade D's. I got, dude. Whenever I shop anything on Amazon, literally, I type in anything on Amazon. I go to filters. I hit 4+ stars.
Okay.
And then I hit Prime because I don't want to get it in 4 weeks.
That's
I want
a must.
it in 2 days. I hit Prime, 4 or more stars, and then I go filter by lowest to highest, and then I order the cheapest thing.
Every time?
Yeah. Because I'm going to get it in 2 days, and it has more than 5 stars, and it's the cheapest option.
So every time you've told me that you've been like researching a product to buy, really you're just filtering 3 things, and then you buy that, and you're like, that's my research.
If you just go lowest to highest price, you'll get like the cheapest thing on Amazon.
Yeah.
But it probably has either no reviews or like 1 star.
Have you ever gone highest to lowest just to see what's out there?
Oh, dude, yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, I did not realize all the things you could buy on Amazon.
Like what?
Like things that cost like tens of thousands of dollars.
Like a French bride?
Like I don't know if they're wayfaring it on there, dude. Just sending brides. But you can buy like machinery and like heavy machinery and stuff. I'm pretty sure. Like
what?
Like welding equipment that's like, you know, machinist equipment and shit like that.
I was looking at a laminar flow hood. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's
I have no technical knowledge.
It's a piece of like lab equipment that creates a laminar flow. Do you know what laminar flow is?
Or it looks like it's not moving, but it is
Yeah,
moving.
so laminar flow, there's laminar flow, and then the opposite side of the spectrum starts with a T. Not turbo.
Or it looks like it's moving, but it's not, as opposed to the other way around.
So basically it's a flow hood. It's for transmitting. It's lab stuff. It's like when you want to do something like making mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's like when you hypothetically
or tomatoes.
Hypothetically, if you were doing something where you didn't want any contamination done in the process of doing that thing, you would have a flow hood so that the air surrounding in front of the flow hood doesn't have any contamination, because the laminar flow will, I guess, blow away the
So like I don't even know. You're explaining it, and I'm trying to figure out what it means.
It's basically think of like a big box that has like a fan in it.
Yeah.
And it just blows
so it's
air.
It's an AC unit or something.
It's a fan.
It's a glorified
It's
fan.
basically a fan with a HEPA filter in front of it.
Oh, okay. And they sell it to you for a charge. But
it has to be laminar flow, which means it's not moving. It's like a slow fan.
See, all these other fans, right? They just blow air, right?
Yeah.
Ours blows air at a consistent rate. Yes. Now that's the straight, because you can't trust those other fans, bro.
Dude, it's kind of crazy how much laminar flow hoods are. Because I was looking at one on Amazon, It's like the cheapest one you can get is like looks like it was made very cheaply in China. It even has like Chinese. They didn't even bother putting
They
like
don't care anymore.
English words on it. It's
You know
just
what you're
like
getting.
there's Chinese words all over this thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck? It also also apparently people who fix phones use laminar flow hoods so that it's a dust-proof environment while you're opening a phone. You don't want a bunch of dust being blown into the phone, into the device.
Is that why they try to charge me so much when I go to try to fix my screen?
Dude, probably these flow hoods, like the cheapest quality one I saw was maybe like $800, but like a decent size one, because you need a really big one, because you have to do your work in front of the flow hood.
Yeah.
So if you buy a cheap one, it's probably really small. So that means you have a very small surface area to
You
work
want
with.
a small fan.
You
dude.
want a big one so you can work on
so
a table.
you can be in a room and some shit. You know, you don't have to like put your hands inside a
Like
container.
you
with
want the
gloves.
size of that table. So that way you can just put it on top of the table and then you can work on the table,
Right.
rather than being the size of that computer screen, because then you can only work in the computer screen.
You have to like, you got. It's like a closed system.
A big one costs like $3,000
Oh my god.
for a box with a fan in it and a HEPA filter. That's all it is. I can build one.
You could just build one for
You
cheaper.
can just build one for cheaper.
See, why would it? The
You just
only
have to
people
know
buying
how to
that-
build it.
The only people who can buy that are just ultra rich. Like who's
Yeah.
just dropping $3K
Or
on,
people that don't know how to build stuff like me.
That's true. Yeah, I do. I don't really. I've always been curious about how people just like normal incomes, or maybe just like middle, like maybe like high 5 figures, low 6-figure income, like not over 200K a year kind of thing. How people like that can afford so much shit, right?
Yeah,
Like, and then I realized that it's just debt.
pretty much.
That sounds dumb to realize now at 27.
Or they have no children.
That too. No children would be a huge one. If you like, or if you got like a good career and your wife does too.
I mean, if
and,
you,
like,
if you and your wife are bringing in like $200,000 a year,
Yeah.
and you don't have no kids,
No, but there's people like, okay, so think about like the roll callers, people who drive like diesel trucks.
yeah,
And like they'll install these devices on their trucks that you can just blow black smoke out of them when you like accelerate.
to?
Yeah, when you want to.
You just hit a
You can just
button?
go in front of somebody like on a bike and just fucking blow smoke on them.
Oh, that's
it's
hilarious.
yeah, it's
I
funny.
didn't know those things. I didn't
Yeah.
know you purposely put that.
Yeah,
on
you purposely put it, and it makes the engine worse. Like it makes
Oh
you have
my
lower
gosh.
fuel economy.
Oh my
And it like makes your engine not
They
like.
just want it.
Yeah, they just want it.
Oh my
Dude, because like if you have like a good diesel engine
Yeah.
on like a, I don't know, but if you have like a Cummins engine or something on like one of the Rams like Cummins
Sure,
engine, like
yeah.
you can get like 450,000 miles out of something like that.
Dang.
Yeah, I've never driven one of those myself. Well,
Yeah.
I've driven one, but I've never owned one. But my friend is used to fix them up and everything like that, and he was telling me all that shit. But people will like destroy their vehicle, and it costs like $8,000 to put in. Like, so you have like 100.
So
you have like
you're putting in $8,000 to make your car worse.
yes.
What?
But you get to be a badass and like
Yeah.
dump coal on people when they're
That's
just in
pretty
your
cool.
way. Yeah,
It's worth
it.
it.
Sounds like a douche move. Like I was thinking about it
Yeah.
because I read on Twitter some guy was like complaining about it, right?
Yeah.
And he was just like, "That's why I sold my Tesla." He's like, "I live outside of Austin. Every single time I'm like driving to anywhere else in Texas, people just get over in my lane and dump coal on me." And it's like, yeah, dude, you're an Elon bro with a Tesla. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
you live in Texas. That's just gonna happen when you're outside of Austin. Like,
That's
you're gonna.
pretty true, yeah.
And so it's kind of like, but I was thinking like, wow, that's a douche move to do if you're that. And then I thought about it, and I was like, if I could do that and I had it, I would be doing it.
Probably.
Like if I wouldn't make my truck like that, but if somebody just was like, hey, here's a diesel truck with this attachment on it.
Like, sweet.
I would be like, all right, it's time
Where
to roll
all
call,
the
dude.
Tesla
Like,
drivers
yeah,
are.
yeah. Or some
Every
guy,
time I see a Prius, I'm just
some guy was like commented on that, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, I got smacked. I was on a bike." I'm like, "That's your problem, dude. You're biking. This is America. This is America."
I was on
Shout
a
out to my
bike.
friend Logan who loves bikes. Sorry,
dude. I love bikes.
Yeah,
I bought a bike from Logan.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I've ridden one of those bikes from
Yeah.
Logan that you bought. Yeah, dude.
How do we start talking about it? Oh yeah, people affording stuff.
Oh yeah, like okay. The reason why I was talking about that with the truck thing is because some of those diesel trucks are like $80,000.
Yeah.
And then you're fixing them up. You're putting like $100K in it, and then you'd be asking the guy like what they do, and you're like, I just sell insurance for State Farm, and you're like, how you're making what, maybe $80K a year if you're a
Yeah.
really good salesman,
That's
and like
true.
you're just buying trucks that
Oh no,
cost.
dude, salesmen
Maybe they make more than that.
they can make over 100.
Oh, really? Like even at that level, like if you're just like live in
Yeah.
some town, you work for State Farm or something.
Well, I mean, in a small town, maybe not.
Right.
But
if you live in a city, you can make like bank.
I mean, if
doing
you
that.
live in like Lexington, like you know,
yeah, that's true.
if you live in like a town like that,
I have a couple of friends that like do insurance sale, but they don't make a shit ton of money. They make like a decent salary though, you know.
yeah. I mean, they're probably just young.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
true.
it comes
They're
with-
all under 35.
I mean, it's not that I feel like it comes with age, but like the longer you're in the industry, more people know you, more people
Yeah.
trust you. People might trust you because you're older.
Yeah,
you know.
but people like that, you know, they'll have they'll have like 100K truck, 100K boat,
yeah.
40K jet ski, and I'm like, they're not making that
I mean,
much
it's
money.
definitely
like,
debt,
yeah,
where it's just like you know, it's like
definitely debt.
it's like yeah, they have a 100K boat, but they're paying like you know, it's just all like financed out and stuff. That's
Yeah.
definitely all debt. But also like what I realized is just like some people like they put their money in things they like to do. Like I know a lot of people that I know that love to travel. Like I'm just like, how can you afford it? And then I
Right.
realize they pretty much don't do anything else with their life.
Like that's
if,
their hobby.
If they're not traveling, then they're literally just living
Working,
at home
going
and
home.
saving money to travel.
Yeah.
Like almost every one of my friends that I know that like loves to travel, that's all they do. They work, they chill at home, and when they have enough money, they travel. That's basically it.
Dude, my friend's older brother and his wife do that, and they're like 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like they work normal jobs. Like they have decent jobs. I think
Yeah.
he's like a physical therapist or something.
Oh, that's cool.
So I mean, I don't know how much he's making.
Oh
or
yeah, no,
whatever,
you can
but-
make decent money.
But like you know, they're going to Aruba and all this stuff like once a month. They'll go travel or
Once a
something.
month?
But the thing is or
What?
maybe once every month or two. But according
Whoa.
to the Instagram postings, it seems to be about that length. you
oh,
know?
dude, they're saving those pictures
Yeah.
for later, bro.
They probably are doing that. Even think about that. They're probably just saving that shit
You
up.
thinking they're they fooled you? They fooled.
We're going to
you.
Aruba the 5th time this year.
Oh my
And it's like, why is the same? Why do you got the same lady sitting in front of you on the plane in every photo?
Every
Do
time.
you guys like go together every time? Yeah,
Dude, I want to be one of those like old people that. Ooh, I want to be one of those old people that like have been on like 100 cruises.
that's basically my grandparents do.
I love.
Like, I don't even know how they've done it.
I've been on one cruise so far, and to be fair,
Same one.
To be fair, it was a really, really good cruise, and I went with my girlfriend, and she told me that we had a very good experience, but not every cruise. Like, you know, I can't like that because now that
can't compare it.
It's really bad because like now I had that great experience because I met really awesome people on that cruise.
You did. That was sick.
I met really, really awesome people on the cruise. I had a blast. It was perfect. The only thing that was bad about the
You
cruise,
broke into the performance arts.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
I won competitions on
Yeah,
that cruise.
we did talk about that thing.
We
That
won
shit was
from
funny.
some free champagne on that cruise. One of my friends that I met got engaged on the cruise.
On the cruise?
Oh yeah, they got engaged on the cruise. Like
That's pretty
literally, we
classy.
met them in the hot tub, and like the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm proposing to my girlfriend tomorrow." I was like, "What?" I
Yeah.
was like, "On this boat?" He was like, "Yeah, right up there."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shoot!"
Dude, but I wish I would have had my first cruise experience as an adult instead of like
You
as a
should have
kid.
came. With,
I
mean,
know,
like,
dude.
I don't know.
I wouldn't, like-
we went for Valentine's Day, so it's like you probably shouldn't have come.
Right,
But
yeah. That
It
would've
would
been
be
awkward.
cool if you came because one of our friends that we met, it was a couple and then their friend. So it was like, you know, it wasn't weird that he was there. You just kind of have to be
That's-
like okay with pretty much being a third wheel of a cruise. But also
yeah.
if we go
Totally
on the
cool with
but
that.
also if we meet people, it's like then you because like the third wheel for that couple, like he just kept on either hanging out alone, like he went to the casino a lot by himself,
Yeah.
or you know he met us, so he would hang out with us, you know. So it's like he met people to hang out with when you know they wanted their alone time. But yeah, dude, if you want to, the only thing about going on a cruise by yourself and like paying to have like your room by yourself is you pretty much have to pay like double the price
Ooh.
if you want to be like.
Screw that, dude.
If you want to be alone on a cruise, like I was looking up cruise prices,
Like if you just
and
wanna have a room
all
by
of
yourself.
all of the prices they're showing you is based on 2 people going.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
change it to 1 person going, the price literally doubles because they essentially want the same amount of money per room.
That's like a good metric to use to judge whether you want to be friends with somebody or not.
Yeah,
Like if you're like pushing 40 and you meet a new person, you're like, maybe this person could be in my friend group.
yeah,
Just ask them if they've been on a cruise before.
yeah.
And if they've never have, then that means that like because everybody wants to go on a cruise. Everybody who's an American wants to go on a cruise one time.
Probably.
In their life. That
I
means that
agree
they've
with
wanted
that.
to go. and they couldn't go because they couldn't find somebody else. That's not a trustworthy person to add to your friend group, dude.
Yeah, or they
Not
didn't
at
have
all.
the balls to go by themselves.
And like pay the extra.
I was
yeah, that's
I
true.
was getting to the point
and
that
which
I
is a bad friend. You don't want to know.
I was
with
getting to the
no
point
balls.
because I was getting to the point where I wanted to go on a cruise by myself because I kept on asking somebody and
We had the other trip planned. We had the Austin
I've
trip
asked
planned.
so many people to go on cruises with me.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, yeah, that'd be so much fun one day. I'm like, bitch, one day.
One
like,
day.
I'm trying to book a ticket tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Because, like, dude, a cruise vacation is like the amount of money we
So
spent on
worth it.
Austin. We could have went on a cruise.
2
like,
cruises.
It was fun to go to Austin.
Yeah.
It definitely was worth it, in my opinion, to go to Austin. But for that amount of money that we spent to go to Austin, we could have went on like a 10-day cruise.
Right. And it was just the Airbnb cost that was the most out of
Yeah.
the whole trip. It was like that was like the majority of the cost.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we got there like good on gas. Our gas there and back wasn't even half of the
Yeah.
rent for the week. Right?
dude.
I'm trying to do the math in
Dude,
my head.
do you think Smitty would go on a cruise with us?
Oh, dude, that's like the only vacation I can see Smitty like functioning well on. Like he would do that, yeah. Like,
Bro, Smitty, if you're watching this right now,
watch it.
I would love you
Let's
to
go on a
go
cruise.
on a cruise with us, summer 2024. Just hit me up, let me know.
Oh, you know how we mess with them, bro?
What?
This is what we do. We tell him we're going on a cruise, and like when we get there, it's a Disney cruise.
Oh,
Because he'll just
dude.
think it's like Mickey Mouse all the time.
yeah.
When it's like there's all sorts of stuff on a Disney cruise, you know. It's
Yeah.
not just like you seeing like a black little
Well-
mermaid everywhere you turn, you know.
Dude, Disney cruises are definitely for children, bro.
Yeah, but that would also be hilarious
It
if
would
we
be
like planned a
hilarious.
cruise and we're like, yo, it's gonna be lit and it's gonna be like free
Dude,
drinks all the time.
Smitty,
and
yo,
it's just
Smitty's
not.
gonna try to. Smitty would try to sneak in
alcohol and get
alcohol
caught
and weed
and drugs,
all these other types of drugs on this cruise.
all these other
And
types.
immediately get caught. Like it wouldn't even be like he wouldn't even be able to get online to check in. That's how like it's like as soon
Yeah.
as he gets out of his car
Yeah.
to go to check.
Dude, we'd be waiting in line to get on the boat, and then the dog would sniff him, not because he like has anything, but just because
Dude,
they would just look at him and be like, "Go sniff that guy."
Dude, they make every person there has to get sniffed.
Oh, really?
When you're online,
By a dog?
yeah, when you're
Yeah.
online, there's an officer with a dog that's walking through the line, and the dog is sniffing every single bag.
It would be crazy if some people with a very, very developed sense of smell could like work their way into that job.
Yeah.
And it's just like some guy from like Vietnam just like sniffing you.
Vietnam.
I'm just imagining some
He's
country
like-
that has heightened senses.
He's
you
like
know?
3'5". Like,
They're like a pygmy, like somebody from like the middle, like an uncontacted
but
tribe member.
he's like real buff though. Like he's a swole 3'5".
Dude,
you know what I mean?
You know somebody from like Indonesia or like the Amazon rainforest, like somebody down there, like an uncontacted tribe member.
Yeah.
You know, one of those people will probably have like amazing senses to survive in the jungle.
dude, yeah.
Like hearing and smelling off the walls. So you just have like a guy who doesn't know what anything is, and you just like lead him
I
down the
remember-
line to sniff people.
Dude, I remember this one guy that pretty much lives in like the rainforest on Joe Rogan. He was talking about how like the tribes make fire in the rainforest. He was like, I still don't know how they do it.
How do they?
And
even
I
do
was like
it?
thinking about that. And I was like, how do they make?
It's like he can't figure it out, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
I was
that-
like, everything's wet. Like I
All
was
the
like,
time.
I was like, wait a second. These people don't have matches. They don't got lighters.
It's just like 24 people blowing on wood all day long to cool it.
I was like, how are they making fire?
Let's dry out this wood. It's just like fucking 6 families in a circle around one
Yeah.
log of wood.
Dude, it does make me think like about like people associating, I guess, smarts. I don't know, or intelligence,
Right.
because I don't know. I feel like society will tell you you're not smart or you are smart based on a very narrow view on what it means to be smart.
Yeah.
And that's basically like your grades, your GPA, how many books you read a year, like just
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Weird metrics.
And like, it's just, I don't get it. Cause it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not saying you're not smart if you had a 4.0 GPA, if you were like the valedictorian, you are smart.
yeah.
But it's like, if I took you to the Amazon and told you to build a fire and you couldn't do it, are you smart? Or if, you know, it's like if someone that lives in the Amazon and can't read can make like a fire. I just think they're the smartest person in the world. Like, to me, that's my level of smart.
It's like working intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how applicable is your knowledge to your everyday life?
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like that's the only metric of smart there should be. It doesn't matter about all this theoretical stuff.
Well, that's why I thought I was
because like it's cool to like have theoretical smartness where it's like, oh, I understand all these theories,
right,
and I understand all these stuff. But if you can't put them to use, then what's the use of them?
That's me, bro. Like I thought I would. Yeah, I thought that's
you're like, yeah, I'm dumb as fuck.
Yeah, for real. Like I grew up thinking that I was intelligent because, and not even because I had like great grades. Like I would have, on average, like mixtures of A's and B's with like a C here and there,
Yeah.
But like I thought I was a smart person. It was like, oh, I get, I'm like an accelerated class or whatever, or like you get put in this thing, or like you're really good at math, or like I had a whole feud with my math teacher in 5th grade who was trying to fail me because I couldn't learn like her math her way. And this is like the way she taught math.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is before like it got really strict.
What kind of
later
math was
on,
it?
like fractions and like multiplying and
Was this in middle
dividing. 5th grade.
5th grade.
School.
Oh, okay.
But it was accelerated math, so we're doing like 6th grade math.
Oh shoot.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I thought it was funny how like a whole group of kids who were in like an accelerated program like thought they were the shit because they were 1 year ahead.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, cool, man. It's not like you're doing calculus.
Yeah.
Like, why did anybody think they're that cool? Like, I don't know. I thought that was weird. But yeah, I had an argument with her because she was trying to get me to do fractions one way, and I was doing them another way because I couldn't figure out her method. And then she was like giving me like D's and C's all the time, and I started keeping my tests because you're supposed to turn them back in. But what I would do is I would just pull off the back page of the test or whatever and keep it, and I would like collect them over like a few weeks, and then I presented all the information to my parents, and I was like, I'm proving that I'm showing my work. I'm just not doing it her way. And then I would show, and I wrote out from my dad, who's like good at math. I was like, here's her way. I don't understand it very well. Here's my way. He's like, you get the same result, and you're showing work. So literally, my parents came into the like fucking school with me, and we had like a fucking sit down.
Wait, that happened to me in school too.
Really? Was it like because of a test or something, or like?
No, that happened to me pretty much exactly. But I'm dumber than you, so I don't remember what grade it was or the name of the teacher. But it
was kindergarten. It was art. It was like, listen, I'm between those lines. I was drawing
math.
Between the lines.
It was in math. I remember. I think it was either 3rd or 4th grade. It was long division or some shit, or just regular division or fractions.
Yeah.
And it was like the teacher wanted me to do it a certain way. And I just remember like out loud in class saying like, well, if you just do it this way, you get the same answer and you don't have to do all that work.
Right.
And the teacher literally just gave me an F. And I was just like,
that's crazy.
I was so confused because I was like, wait, I got the answer right. Like,
that's jacked.
Dude, I just don't get it. Like, and I remember I told my mom, I was like, I got an F on like, I think it was a quiz or something. And she like literally like yelled at my teacher and was like, you can't give him an F if he's getting the grades right. Like if he's getting the answer right. And she was like, he didn't do it. He didn't do it the way I wanted him to do it. And she was like, I don't care. The answers are right.
Yeah.
Like if he was taking the SAT and they asked him the question and he got the right answer, they wouldn't not count him the points.
Right.
And the teacher was like, okay, like sure.
Yeah.
And then I got an A.
It's literally a psyop setting you up to like when you're in the work environment as an adult.
Yeah.
To like not be innovative in your workspace because like you
have to do it the way you're told to do it.
Yeah.
That's so
dumb.
Yeah.
I would say I would be very scared if I was a teacher and like
I do
like
remember
a Hispanic
working at
mom's
Chick-fil-A.
coming in, like white ladies, not threatening at all, dude.
Not threatening.
That's what I'm saying,
dude. If your mom came into my classroom and was like, "You better give my son an A,"
yeah,
I'd be like 2 Fs.
Dude, like my mom worked at my school, and she also was like, "I can't go in there alone. Like I'm not gonna be able to take them on." Like, that's what my dad came to, bro. Like, yeah.
Bro, what was I gonna say, dude? When I worked at Chick-fil-A, I remember they were like, almost any job I had that's similar to Chick-fil-A is like the way we do things is already tested and true. It's the fastest way to do things.
Right.
Don't like try to come up with a new way of do something. Just do it the way you're told to do it.
Yeah, because a 28-year-old systems info manager named Patrick is God. Right.
And I just remember like being on like, I don't know what station I was on, maybe sandwiches or fries. and I just started doing something a different way because in my mind I was like, this is just faster.
And they didn't even notice probably.
Yeah, I was like, no one noticed, and I was being like, I mean, I'm not smart enough to have a percentage, but I was at least like 35% faster. Like, I don't know. Like,
did you hear how Shane finessed getting paid more money when he worked at
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A in college? Yeah.
What?
He pretty much walked in there and was like, because he knew the schedule of Chick-fil-A because he had worked at one before in like a different state. And he came in there and he was like, all right, I know if I work these hours, I can just drop fries all day.
Yeah.
Like based on like what is it, like not the non-rush, I think, because he had to leave by a certain time because of school schedule and all that. Anyways, he pretty much went in there with his like a 2-year culinary degree, which is like a legit culinary degree that he had.
Yeah.
And they were desperate. They needed people to work there. And he was like, I'm not going to do this for $10 an hour. Like, I have a culinary degree. And then they were like, okay, well, what do you want? And I think he was getting paid like $16 or $15 an hour.
That's
and this
crazy.
is back in like, 2012
back,
or 13 or something, right?
That's crazy.
And yeah, he just finessed like an extra $5 an hour just by having a culinary degree. And all he had to do all day was just work the fry station. Isn't that dope? Like,
Literally anyone
Shane
can
is
do
so
that.
good at like doing that crap. It's
Anyone
like
can
little
do that.
finessing here and there.
Bro, that's kind of hilarious that a culinary degree can get you more money at a fast food place.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not using it.
Oh, not at all.
I mean, like, you might be a little bit, but it's
No,
like,
it's not like you're chopping them julienne style.
yeah, no, you're just dump.
I was like,
pick
here's
up.
got a bag of waffle fries and dump them in there, dude.
Dude, I loved working like the sandwich station at Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
Because if you're working the sandwich station, it's like you're the head chef. You can like boss people around.
oh, really?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, that would feel so good.
At least
dude.
at the
Just a little
Chick-fil-A I
power
worked
trip
at.
a
At least
Chick-fil-A.
the Chick-fil-A I worked at.
Like if you're having a bad day and there's just like some annoying goth teenager that works
Yeah.
with you, and you're just like, take that spike collar off and get back to work.
Dude, did I ever tell you how we used to haze people at the Chick-fil-A I worked at?
No, what would you guys do?
I
Some
don't
like
know if I've said this on the
Chick-fil-A
pod
frat shit?
before.
No,
Dude,
I don't know.
So it's like if we had someone on their first shift, we would tell them that the ice machine needs to be mixed once a day. And there's like a big like ice poker because overnight the bottom of the ice machine freezes over, so you have to like poke it, and then the ice falls down. That's what it's for.
Makes sense.
What we told them it's for is the top of the ice machine opens. We told them you stick it in there and you mix it.
You just mix it up. So they just thought they were stirring ice.
Yeah, it would make them do it for like 10 minutes or so.
It would be hilarious if they do all that and didn't even break the layer. They were just mixing the ice on top of it.
They were just mixing the ice.
Yeah.
And then one time I came up with this one, but then I decided not to do it a second time because it was a little rude.
Oh, yeah.
I told someone, this was before Chick-fil-A sold brownies. I told them that we had to get the brownie mix. I was like, hey, we're making brownies. Can you get the brownie mix? And this was before Chick-fil-A even sold brownies. And this was
just send them on a search.
the thing is, I did have a kid one time say, like, we don't sell brownies. And I was just like,
shut up.
I was like,
Shut up.
I was
You're
like, you
ruining the
got
fun.
me. You got me. But one kid was like, okay, sweet. And then he like went to the back. I was like, it's in the back room. Go get it. Right. I send them back there the first time. They were there for maybe like 10 minutes. They give up. They're like, they come back. They're like, hey, I can't find the brownie mix. And there's a little crawl space on top of the freezer where we have some things stored. I tell them that it's up there.
Oh my God. They still are like completely falling for it.
And they're like, really? I was like, and then they're like, oh, I didn't check. I'm like, did you check up there? And they're like, oh, no, I didn't check. I didn't even know I can go up there. And then I make
Get them like
go
a
up
step
there.
ladder.
I make them go up there and crawl around.
See, this is why it's important to not care about any job too much.
Yeah.
Because if you start if you start working at some, big corporation or like a restaurant or
Yeah.
a chain, and you care too much off the bat, someone's going to be fucking with you. Hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
Like they can tell the energy coming off where it's like some kid, who has like raised by their grandparents or like homeschool energy.
Yeah.
And they're like 19 and
Oh,
they're like
dude,
legit smart
I
and
would
like
mess with them a
hardworking.
lot. Yeah.
Those are the kind of people that are the best employees,
Yeah.
but they're the worst to work with because you try to like say
follow
something
the
chill.
rules.
They
follow
follow
the
the
rules.
fucking rules. Who
Yeah.
does that shit, dude?
Like, dude, we
screw
all
that.
know rules are suggestions. They're not even.
And like we're like laughing about it, but I pretty much based my life on that, which is not
Yeah.
good. Like look where I'm at now. But no, oh wait, I need to tie in the dude. We're getting like I'm getting hella ADHD on this. Like, all right, tying it back into like I really did think I was like, and then like I'm not dumb, but like I thought I was like, oh, I'm like in the top 10% of smart people, like just because I was in like some class or something, right?
Yeah.
It's all theory bullshit.
Yeah.
None of that stuff. Like I even ended up majoring in philosophy.
Yeah.
And what have I done with that? Annoy you on car rides?
Yeah.
That's all we do. Dude, that's what I've done with that
philosophy.
major.
Yeah.
The only thing I've done with that major is annoy the shit out of my friends on road trips with like talking about things.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't made any money off a philosophy degree.
And do you understand what's his name? Jordan Peterson more than the average person.
Yeah, that's about it. Dude.
That's about it.
Yeah,
You get really
claim.
hype whenever
Yeah.
you listen to any philosopher podcast, and you're
Yeah.
like, because you told
Ultra
me this.
hype.
You told me this. You're like, dude, I was listening to Jordan Peterson the other day, and I just
Yeah.
thought to myself, I wonder how many people understand what he's
remember this.
talking about. And then I was like, probably a lot. And then
Probably a lot of people.
You looked at me and you were like, no one does. I'm the only one. And I'm like, what?
I'm like, yeah, you see the 650,000 views? Yeah, I'm the only one who knows that shit, dude.
They don't even know what philosopher he's talking about.
Yeah, they don't even.
I wrote 3 papers about that guy.
Yeah, have you even read Nietzsche's original books? Have you even read it, or do you just watch
No.
TikToks? You just watch TikToks about what other people think it is. That's what you do. Have you read Genealogy
Yeah,
of
you are
Morals in
kind
the
of-
original German?
You are kind of a snob about philosophy.
Yeah,
it's just
dude.
really funny.
But it only comes out at like the weirdest moments.
It does.
It doesn't come out at any like if our society started to collapse and they were like, we need somebody who's able to like synthesize ideas and articulate them to the public, I would be like, fuck that, y'all ain't paying me. Like, what are y'all gonna pay me with? Like, what society? The dollar's gone. Like, you know.
I mean, you'd get paid
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
food.
but if they were like, "Hey, we need you
shelter.
to analyze the different marketing strategies and the philosophies behind them between McDonald's and Burger King," I'd be like, "Oh, dude, I've been doing that subconsciously since I was like 7." Like, you know,
I was doing that last night.
Yeah, I was doing that yesterday when I was looking at my receipt. Dude.
Here's a
Like,
12-page paper about it.
yeah, but it pretty much was like, yeah, all this was useless knowledge.
Yeah.
Like instead of just arguing with me about fractions, they should be teaching me how to like weld boats together at age 10.
Probably.
Yeah, like I would have been down for child labor. I remember reading about child labor for the first time in 5th grade. Same grade, different teacher. But I remember reading about like the factories, and I just thought like, why did they keep them at the same skill level? Like,
Why do they teach you about child labor when you're a child?
just to let you know how good you got it at school in the AC, you know, just chilling in there. Yeah,
That is kind of a psycho move.
Yeah. Like think about it. Like, would you rather be making hinges like in Schindler's List, or would you rather be reading Where the Red Fern Grows inside?
Like, if you think you have it bad in
Yeah.
this art class,
yeah.
you used to have to sew dressers together.
Yeah, it's like you can either cry every day at work or cry that one time in the book where they shoot Old Yeller. It's
my
like that's
gosh.
all you got to choose.
I remember the only thing I remember about child labor is like watching a video or maybe reading a book about how like kids used to work in like textile like
Yeah.
factories because their fingers were like small enough to fit in something, and like how often like kids like hands would get chopped off.
Yeah.
I remember that scarring me because like it's the only thing I remember about child labor.
Oh, dude, I just kind of.
It's like I could just imagine all these kids walking around New York City with no hands.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, just like a. Just like like that grandpa you met with the double stubs.
Oh, yeah,
And, like
dude.
you just go to meet some guy's kid and he's got like 4 kids and you're like, hey Timmy, you got to fist bump him and it's just like a fucking nub comes out of nowhere.
Dude, only one of them has a hand. There's
Yeah.
just one hand. It's like out of 4 kids, they have
They would
one
literally
hand.
just be like, why do we need kids? They're like, they have nimble fingers to work the machines. I'm like, why don't you just make bigger machines?
Right?
What the fuck, dude? Like, just make a machine that fits a dude's hand. And they could have done
They
that, but
didn't
they
think
were,
about that.
but they were like, well, see, here's the thing: if you make this other machine, it costs $1,000 more. And I
Yeah.
know we're going to be damaging the lives and psyches of millions of children, but we can't be doing that. We can't be our overhead costs. Like, that's literally what the mentality is.
Dude, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but sometimes I'll watch TikToks and like I'll think it's true without like
Yeah,
researching it all.
that's my
But,
baseline.
like,
Is that it's true?
I watched this one TikTok about like this Indian guy that builds like a motor out of like a bunch of random garbage.
Dude, they're
And,
genius, bro.
He
They
like,
build anything.
he like
out of
uses like
garbage.
syringes. He puts like magnets in them, but he flips the magnets so they're 2 negatives.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they like push away from each other, and then they're on like a little like he uses like a bracket or a bearing so that the thing like rotates. So it's just like constantly moving up and down
yeah.
because one side because the magnets are opposite. So this side pushes away from the magnet, causing this side to push up. But then this side pushes away from the magnet. So it's just constantly moving, essentially. Yeah. And all it takes is like your finger to just make it move once, and then it just keeps on going. And like he made it, and then like the light turned on. And then at the end of the video, he was like, if you times this by 100, it's enough to
power the world.
No, it was like, he was like, if you times this times 100, it's enough to power my house. If you times it by 100,000, it's enough to power a city. Yeah. And he was like, and if you times it by 1,000,000, you have enough to power the sun. And I was like, what? Like,
to power the sun. What? Listen, this isn't like trying to dog on like.
He skipped a few steps there, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's a one giant leap for an Indian child, one giant step for mankind, dude. I don't know what the fuck
I was like, do you mean like some random Indian like meth head is just out there making 1 million of these like little engines trying to blow up the
little Indian that could, dude.
Dude, little meth head just up all night, like weeks on a time, just like making these little things, and he's just in his head like, if I get to 1 million, I'll create a bomb.
Dude, I just literally thought of a good one-liner joke for the child labor laws. Why did the doctor get sued for child labor?
Why?
Because he forgot to give the teen mom her epidural. That's kind of a shitty joke, but like it makes it makes sense enough. It'll work.
I'll be honest, I
can build that out. Yeah. Well, because if I broke it down like a nerd, it doesn't work because technically, whether you have an epidural or not, you're still in labor. It just doesn't hurt. So I got to figure out that minutia. That'll work on stage. I know. Well, I just got to write it out.
Dude, how's comedy been?
It's been good. Like a personal level, it's been good. Like materials getting tighter, getting better on stage, but it's just like, God, dude, I just gotta like, it's just driving. Now I'm more committed to driving to more open mics. Because I used to be lazy about it. I used to be like, well, I'm only gonna go if like 2 people go with me and split gas. Mm-hmm. And now I'm just like, all right, well, no one wants to go with me. Screw it. I'm just gonna go anyways. Because you gotta just like have to do it anyways if you want to get better. I've been going mostly to Charlotte and Greenville just because of the drive time.
Yeah,
like just sense. Atlanta's like just too much to go to and
Atlanta's,
back.
Yeah, you can't make that drive.
Like Atlanta or Asheville because they're like 2.5+ hour drives.
What about Charleston? That's like
I need to go to Charleston, but that's a doable thing in one day.
That's not doable. Yeah. I've driven.
The Sparrow has like an open mic.
I once driven to Charleston to be there for 2 hours.
I think you told me about this. Wasn't this in college or
this was
like
when
recently?
I worked at camp.
Okay, yeah.
And it was me, Bailey,
Alexa, somebody else.
Alexa, and like Wesley.
Yeah.
I think. And it was our day off. No, it wasn't because at camp, our day off starts like 1 o'clock on Saturday and then ends like 3 o'clock on Sunday. So you don't get like one full day off, you know, if that makes sense. But it was like Sunday morning and we were trying to decide what to do. And we all lived like at camp during the weekend. Some people would go home.
I think I almost went with them one time, and
we were just like, we were all like, let's just go to Charleston. And like, none of us thought like, wait, we have to be back here at 3 p.m.
Right.
We were all just like, yeah, let's go to Charleston. So we were,
and it was early, right?
Yeah, it was early. We left for Charleston. We were at Charleston, and I remember being there for like 2 hours, looking at my time, and just thinking to myself like, oh wait, we have to head back to make it to our job.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, like, wait a second. I just drove a total of like 4 hours to be somewhere for like an hour and a half.
And dude, and the thing is that like, dude, once you hit 25, you never do that type of shit after that. Like if you were to come up to me and say that, like, okay, I guess well, see, this is why I feel so dumb because that's what these open mics are.
That's what you do.
That's what I'm doing, and so like it feels stupid, but like I know it's like, but you have to have that like somewhat insane mentality to even like hope to get better, you know? Because if not, then you're like just gonna be like, oh well, this over the last 3 months I traveled to go to other mics 4 times. It's not gonna do anything for you. You're not getting that much more stage time. But if it's like, oh okay, you're going to an extra 2 or 3 a week. Because you're like, whatever, I'll go to bed at 2 a.m. those nights and just rough it out the next day, you know, or whatever. But that's why I've been caffeinating the hell out of myself.
I mean, I get that you want to stay at the open mics until the end. so that you can like build relationships with those people.
Oh, fuck that now. I only do that in Colombia now.
But yeah, like personally, like I respect the grind, but I would leave as soon as my
I got a little lazy about that. I thought I came in there hot with that mentality because of what Alexis said, and then I was like, I'm too tired for this, bro.
Yeah, like
I'll do it at my main like at the art bar.
Of course, if you're in your town, then I do think you should. It's worth it to stay and build that like relationships with people. But
if I'm in Charlotte and it's already 11:15,
I think it's worth it to stay like once or twice to like start a relationship with people.
Yeah,
and then like after you do that, they at least know who you are, so they know you live far.
Yeah.
And if you leave early, that's why. Like
my game plan now is like if you want to hang out with people in a different scene or like just chat it up and see what they're about, see what they're doing, like I just get there a little early instead.
Yeah,
because it's like people are going to start.
That probably would be a better thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now because I did try to do that one time. And like or a couple of the first times I started going to the Greenville, it's like, oh, okay, I'll go sing karaoke or whatever, hang out with some people at the bar afterwards. Yeah. And next thing you know, I'm leaving at like almost 1.
Yeah.
That's too much, dude. Like I can't be leaving at 5 something to get there at 7:30 just to get back at that's almost 12, like that's almost 10 hours.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Like I'm
be on stage for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insane. But I have to be insane to No, Tim Dillon was talking about
I do respect the grind.
Yeah. Tim Dillon was talking about that the other day where people were like where he was basically just saying, we were like, wait, you're telling me you do all that for free and no one pays you money? He's like, yeah, but in 7 years, like, it might work. It might work. Or it might not, and now you're an idiot.
Might not. But it'll be a fun story to tell someone.
Yeah.
Apparently, my aunt used to be a stand-up comic.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Her name's Nancy.
Nancy. That's a cool name for a stand-up comic.
Yeah. She used to do stand-up comedy in New York City.
Oh, wow.
When she was like in her 20s. And like when I found that out.
So like in the 90s or
yeah. So when I found that out, I was just like, hold on, wait, like whole new perspective.
Tell me a joke now, Nancy.
I was just like whole new perspective. Like I was just like, you're cool now. Like you used to be lame as fuck, but now you
what people don't know is that
put a notch up.
If you want to start doing open mic, if you want to start taking open mic comedy seriously, in the states like South Carolina, you have to grind.
Oh, you have to grind.
You have to grind. But if you want to take it seriously in New York, you just got to be like, what's the name of that place? Okay, I'll go on the subway. Yeah.
But apparently she would do it like frequently. Like my dad was telling me
that's
about
different
it.
Fact.
Like it wasn't like she was grinding. Like because in New York you can do like 5 mics a day if you want to.
Gosh, dude,
and if you're doing that, you're grinding.
Yeah.
But if you just do it like once a week, it's a hobby. Right. For her, I think it was like a little bit between a hobby and a grind.
Yeah.
Because she did have a job. It wasn't like she can go to the
right. And if you have to work late, then it's even worse.
Yeah. So I was just like, so what I'm saying to you though is even in 7 years, if this doesn't work out,
exactly,
you might have a little nephew one day that's just like, oh,
I can tell him stories.
Yeah, I used to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. I'm like a childless guy.
I used to have a podcast.
I'm like a childless 46-year-old, and I'm telling my friends' children who call me uncle. I'm like the fake uncle of all my because all my friends have siblings, so they have like real uncles, and I'm just like telling some 11-year-old kid,
they're gonna call you uncle.
I'm just
Brandon.
Telling some like 11-year-old girl, and I'm just like, you should have seen me in my open mic days.
And she's just like, yeah, I've seen the TikToks.
Yeah, she's like, they fucking suck. She's like, I see why you don't post clips now. Your ass.
That's so funny. Yeah, nowadays it's different. Like if my aunt had TikTok in the 90s, I could just go to her TikTok and scroll down.
Yeah.
And find
I really don't get it, man. Like I'm trying to figure out the social media vibe with like not like podcast, but like with stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Because like I will see like a comedian, right, that maybe has like I don't know, like that maybe has 30,000 followers.
Yeah.
And they post like a lot of clips, and you're like, oh wow, like, but they're posting like, they're not posting crowd work. They're posting like material, and it's funny.
Yeah.
Good jokes, consistent in their persona and all that jazz. Like it's solid work. And then I'll go find a page where it's like some comedian's got like, 114,000 followers. And they're just like, they're just putting out pure burn material. Like stuff that's not even finished, like stuff that's not even that funny. And I'm like, what is going on here? It's like the good content seems to be like not be getting Well, and I'm not even talking about crowd work. I'm talking about bits. I'm talking about people putting out like bits.
I do think there's a thing where it's like when you get big, you kind of maybe get lazy.
Yeah, or like they really don't want to burn that material, or they're like thinking about it.
Because like
I've
heard like people like Rogan say like, you know, like the funniest someone will ever be is like right before they make it.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, I can see that because they're not pressured. It's just like it's kind of like, you know, how when a musician releases their first album, like that band could have been together for 10 years, touring, doing bars and stuff, and they've now like they've put together like the best set list of 10 songs that they've written, and you get like a fire album, and then they, you know, you get all the label record deal, and then the company is like, hey, you know, we expect you to make another album in 2 to 3 years, right?
Yeah,
and they're just like, wait a second, but it took us this long to make this. There's no way we can do it again, you know? Yeah, so that you get that pressure from external, because the industry standard now in comedy is like brand new, is like new hour every 2 to 3 years. Yeah, like a new special or whatever. If you're like in that realm, you know, of doing like streaming specials and all that. Even YouTube
I feel like comedy.
That.
I don't know how the comedy industry works.
I'm not even like 100% sure, but all the research I do.
I mean, definitely the money I think comes from travel.
Yeah,
from shows.
Like pretty much. I mean, there are comedians now too that have whatever made it who like don't even do like that many clubs anymore. You know, like they'll just mostly do a podcast and they'll have their tour dates, and then they won't like hit clubs consistently to work on new material.
I feel like comedy might be better than like the music industry.
Like potential for growth.
Because like if you want to be a musician, you basically need a label to sign you. Yeah, you don't need 100%, but like, you know, the studio time. If you're not rolling in money, you need someone else to pay for your studio time. Right. Yeah, that's where the label comes in. Free advertisement. True. And not free advertisement. I mean, they're getting paid, but you know, like the advertisement they offer you, the deals they get you, and the shows they get you, you know, or like the spots, the gigs, whatever. But with comedy, I feel like you can do a lot of that shit by yourself.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, you know, it's like like utilizing social media, because it's like you don't need a studio, right?
You just need a live audience.
You don't need a studio. You just need a live audience. So you can practice just like at mics, you know. If you had a friend that's really good at recording shit, you can just record your own. Like you don't need a whole like production team to record
just a cheap stand and a phone.
A decent quality like special, you know. Right. You don't really like, I mean, like, sure, you need a whole photography team, if you're doing like a high production thing. But if you're just up there and you want like 3 camera angles, you just need 3 tripods, 3 cameras, and someone to hit record on all 3 of them. That's basically all it is.
Have you seen Sam Talent's special on Amazon?
Yeah.
I love that because he had one guy who stood up and would walk around him. Yeah. And then he had like 2, you know, isolated cameras. Yeah.
And then advertisement is just social media and putting out stuff on YouTube, getting on podcasts, which like if you're like, as long as you're like nobody, you can probably get on some decent podcasts. Not like Rogan or probably not.
If you're not a nobody,
probably not
you can get
Theo.
On some. Yeah.
Probably not Theo. If you're nobody, then like you got to work your way up to that, but you can still get on like smaller podcasts and like
there's
build
a lot
your
of
audience
like, dude,
way.
That's huge in New York, man. Like there's a lot of podcasts in New York that have anywhere between like maybe like 10 and 100,000 subscribers.
That's good, yeah.
And like tons of like up and coming comedians will be guests on those types of podcasts, you know. But even those up and coming comedians, you got to have some establishment. That's why, like, I think, and this is no original idea, but I feel like as long like if you want to be like if you want your career to be primarily stand up comedy, I feel like the only thing you should focus on as your primary goal is live audience stand up comedy. Yeah. You know, like you can have other pursuits, but like if you're not putting in enough energy into that, then it's like if you're only figuring out like how to hack the algorithm on your like crowd work clips or whatever, then it's like, okay, you might be able to be like an amazing crowd work comedian and get like a ton of like sponsorship deals, but like you're gonna have to do that forever. Like you're not gonna be able to like book clubs when you're 48 consistently because you haven't been working the chops. You know, it's like you have to be doing. That's why it's like a good. I mean, I see like like Shane Gillis and all like stay in New York and they just hit sets every night. So that way it's like, okay, now that you have an industry standard of 2 to 3 or like a special every 2 to 3 years, the only way to not fall off in terms of quality of material is to just keep doing. It's just set life.
Yeah,
the whole
it
time.
is crazy how like someone can go from like being nobody to somebody really quick. Like that guy that like that song "Rich Man North of Richmond."
Oh yeah. It's not even his real name. It's like
Oliver
his grandfather's name.
Anthony.
Yeah. Is it Anthony Oliver or Oliver Anthony?
I think it's Anthony Oliver.
Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe Oliver Anthony. No, it's Oliver.
I don't trust white dudes that have 2 first names, bro.
It's Oliver Anthony.
I don't trust white guys that have like a first and last name that are both first names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
if I'll trust like
Smith.
ethnic people like that because it's like, oh, they were like probably given that name by like an adopted white parent or something and they have nothing to do with their personality. But there's like something special. There's certain like kinds of people and it's just like you need a last name, bro. You need a name that's like when they say it and without your first name, they just know it's your last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
I feel like Smith is more of a last name than a first name.
Yeah, if you name your kid's first name Smith, come on, dude. Like you can't name your first name can't be if your last name was Johnson and your parents named you Smith Johnson. Like the most basic last name, but that's double last name. Now we're talking that double last name. Double last name are devious motherfuckers, dude. I don't even. That's different. Like Anthony Oliver is just kind of like a sly cat kind of dude, you know, like the double first names, but the double last names are
Johnson
hard.
Smith, bro.
Yeah,
don't get you started.
Don't. I'm like, dude, your name
Bodie
is Johnson. Bodie Smith.
Dude,
that would be funny.
That'd be funny, dude. Double last name. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Like, what if somebody will like, what if you named your kid like Garcia, like Garcia Sepulveda or something?
Sepulveda.
Like, yeah, or like
Rodriguez.
Lopez. Yeah, Rodriguez Sepulveda.
Rodriguez Sepulveda.
Yeah,
they'll be like, "What's your first name?" Rodriguez.
And
they call me Roger for sure.
It's just like you can't enter the country. I'm sorry. It's like if you had a first name, it'd be
too
different.
Spanish for us.
And that's Mexico. They're not letting them in because
dude, I had someone at work today tell me that I look like I'm what are people from Somalia? What's the Rock? What is he? Samoan. Like
Somalia are like skinny black pirates. Yeah, that's what those people are, dude.
Samoan.
They all look like Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, we were all talking because like the lady that cut my hair. After she cut my hair, I was like shadowing her cutting someone else's hair, and like they were talking about like my hair basically. She was like, "What are you?" And I was like, "What do you think I am?" She was like, "Samoan."
Yeah.
Like,
bro, if I was you and single, anytime any girl asked me what ethnicity I was, dude, I would have just made up 6 different ones put together. Because you could be like, listen, like my dad's side, I'm Samoan and Hawaiian. On my mom's side, I'm Hispanic, but I also have a little bit of Iranian in me. Like you could just be like throwing people for a curve.
I'm also Polish. And I'm Ukrainian.
And plus, like I could be wrong about this, but isn't like genetic variability like more attractive, like in like our biological sense? Like, because that makes it.
I think so.
Because okay, remember that show Chimp Empire from Netflix, where like Jackson's just like going crazy, killing people. Well, they say that female chimps, when they start to develop into their teen years, what they will do is they will just ditch their village. Like that. Remember that episode where they were like, and after raising her brother, she left and left the whole tribe because you need genetic. You can't just be inbreeding,
she comes back.
right? Well, no, they just leave forever. They go find a new tribe and they mate with that new tribe because you can't have inbreeding too much in the population. So a percentage of the women chimps at age like 14 would just like leave to go like find a mate in a different tribe. Wow. They'll become ops to their own tribe, and they fight. Like,
dude, if I was a chimp, I'll just be out in the woods, like waiting for. Just, like,
What if you get lost trying to go find a new tribe?
Any day now.
Just like you just get lost, and you're like, well, you find like a gorilla instead of a chimp, just some other species of monkey, and you're like, all right, I'll fuck this thing instead.
Dude, imagine if they came like the same time every year, you know?
Yeah, and they just all meet up.
It's like a big holiday.
It's like the Entmoot in Lord of the Rings where they all meet up at that rock in the woods. It's just like all these female chimps, and they're like, what village you from? Well, all right, you go in there. You can't cross tracks too much.
Yeah.
You end up back at your original village because you got lost. You got no maps.
And you think you're at a different village.
Yeah. Oh, did you like? I didn't even. But did you know that like chimps and like they have photographic memory? Did we talk about that already in the podcast? They got photographic memory.
Chimps do?
Yeah, like so. You know how like some people have a really good sense of like GPS or whatever in their head.
Yeah,
and they can like see things from a bird's eye view like that, dude. Like all not just female chimps, but like all chimps can like they have a 3-dimensional mind map of the entire jungle they live in.
Oh wow!
Because over the course of their lives, they've been to every corner of their territory.
Yeah.
So they know their territory, and because chimps live 3D, like they climb trees,
Yeah.
so they don't just know this way; they know up and down and this way too.
Yeah.
So they can like if they have to run away from somebody, they know exactly which trees to swing from. They can like plot a course in their mind that's like the most efficient way, and they also can like they can tell like whether a fruit is ripe by like down to the day.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and the reason they figured this out is because
I still think chimps are stupid. Because
yeah, me too. Because they're monkeys in the woods.
They can't take the SAT.
Yeah, they can't build a toilet or a plumbing system.
Bro, if a human can do what you just said,
they'd be unstoppable,
dude. If a human can they can get into Harvard without even applying.
Yeah,
dude.
But we traded that like our vision. They started talking about how like they think that we traded that type of vision for a different vision because. Humans, we may not have the photographic memory that chimps do, but we have like we can see like images more sharply. Mm-hmm. You know, like they can see different colors better, I think, but we can see things more clearly because whenever they started like leaving the jungle and going out in the savannah or whatever, if this is the way it really happened, who knows? Then like you had to be able to.
You mean when the aliens took us out of the jungle and put us? Yes.
When Joe Rogan and the aliens came down and they grabbed a few chimpanzees in the woods and they picked them up with like a toy claw.
You mean
and dropped them at the edge of the woods? Yeah. And you can't convince me that's not the way it happened because then all these chimps would be doing the same thing these days, and they were like, "No, we're not doing that," you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, like they had to see over the tall grass in the savannah, and they got exposed to new types of predators that you had to saw all that crap. But if you take a monkey, or not a monkey, but a chimp specifically, and you put it in front of a computer screen, and you have like 10 digits, 0 through 9, right? You have 0 through 9 on the screen. And you can't see them; they're just covered up by white blocks. And every single time, where the numbers are on the screen change, and they're not even in order. So it'll be like 1, 9, 7, 8, right? You can flash them the number for less than 2 seconds, and then cover it back up, and then they can tap it. They can tap it in whatever order you want them to.
Wow.
So like you can write out like tap it in this order, and they'll do it. But you can give them like a piece of paper, and you can be like, all right, here are all the numbers, and then the next piece of paper says like hit 019845, and like from the image they saw.
The thing is that chimp,
and they can change it on them like every time.
Listen, that chimp is trained though.
Yeah.
Like I can't just get a trim.
Yeah.
And give it a sheet of paper.
Yeah.
And it just shows some.
No, the
that
thing
chimp
is
would
that,
eat me. I can't just. They trained that chip. That's what they don't tell you.
Well, the thing is that they beat the hell out of that chip for years. They abused that chip.
What happened between that chip being a savage to that chip sitting in front of a computer? That's what I want to know. They beat that chip. There's no way.
Yeah, they raped and beat that chip for 2 decades just so it could tell it. No, that's awful.
That chip would do anything for some food right now.
Dude. I was in the chip in the video I was looking at. You could like see all of its ribs.
Oh my gosh,
stuff.
dude! I can remember the order of numbers if you starved me.
If you poke me with a cattle prod every time you want to do it.
Dude, what did that? No, that's a real question though. Because that's a real question though. Because like I get it, I get that it's a study and the chimps can do something like that. But if you went to the wild and try to get a wild chimp to do that, it would eat your face off.
Yeah, it would eat you. Yeah.
So how do you get that chimp in front of a computer screen? What do you have to do?
You gotta like. You see the chimp playing video games and shit. That one was crazy. that one was in real bad shape. I think that was even worse than the numbers
chimp. That they put a brain chimp in.
Yeah, but like, dude, it was funny because the chimp he was like video game rage quitting.
Really?
Like it was, but they made him complete like the most simplest level of Minecraft, and he passed it. But like they had to like throw banana peels at him, like in between. Like they would have like little banana rounds they cut, and they'd like toss him a piece of food or whatever. And every time he like passed the next stage of the level, I mean, they had to go in and reprogram the game to give him checkpoints and all that stuff, right? But he was able to like on this finger like scroll where he wanted to go, pick up blocks, hit a few, move some shit.
Cool.
It was real basic stuff. They weren't building castles or anything, you know. But like in my mind, but it was funny to see like he got turned around one time where like he just accidentally turned back around, so we saw where he came from, and he just like he literally just looked at the screen and just went ah! And just like turned around and just started running in circles. Like he rage quits video, like which means that like there's something inside of like humanoids that it's like rage quitting is a real thing. Where you get so frustrated with like trying to accomplish a basic remedial task and you just like throw something. Like,
Dude, imagine like an elephant rage quitting.
Oh, dude, they have like, but they rage quit like
dude.
Instead of rage quitting a task, they rage quit like human bit. Like elephants can, like low key, bro. I like animals, dude. I know a lot about animals, so we could talk about animals to the moon and back. But elephants are like one of the most intelligent creatures. Huge skull, huge craniums and whatnot. They have like deep emotions that humans can relate with.
Sure.
But what happens, like for example, like villages in India will get decimated by elephants, and it's not like a group of elephants. It's like it's literally like the Punisher from the Marvel series. Like the elephant guy is like they kill his wife and kids in front of him at the dinner table one day. But what it is that like a child elephant will die because of a poacher, and and like one of the elephants will get so mad about it that they'll just go and they'll like figure out where they'll know by the smell of the person who killed who they were, like what village they're from.
Oh my!
And they'll just go fuck up that entire village. And there's video cam footage of like elephants just ripping through homes.
Dude,
and like
that's the elephant mafia right there.
And then some elephants sometimes they get them and they like kill the elephant, but sometimes the elephant will just come blaring through at like 2 a.m. and just tear shit up and just leave.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not guerrilla warfare, bro. It's elephant warfare.
Dude, that's the elephant mafia right now. You don't mess with the elephant mafia. All right, bro. I'm gonna
sign us off.
I'm gonna call it quits. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for watching. I've been Joe,
and I've been Body,
and y'all have been listening. Thank you so much. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram. My Cash App is Joe is Heck. Feel free to donate. I'm trying to buy a kidney.
For me, because I need one.
Yeah.
My Cash App is Brandon Body, but I don't give a fuck if you send this body. It's a bit, right? Dude. Isn't it a bit?
Oh, it's just,
have we been doing that as a bit?
It's
or
a
is
bit
it like
for me because I'm not a stand-up comedian, so I don't care if anyone follows my Instagram.
Yeah.
You should plug your Instagram.
Yeah. All right, follow me at Brandon Body Comedy. I don't post any clips, but I do post things. JoBodie. It's another JoBodie. It's JoBodie. And another JoBodie. Another one. JoBodie. This is a new episode of JoBodie.
Oh shit, I wasn't even recording. Fuck.
I want JoBodie. I need JoBodie. As long as you got me, you don't need nobody.